Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of the Bookney Author Showcase. And today I have a very interesting guest with me. You can already see her here. She's Precious Osikha, also known as Precious Pen. So before we dive right into the interview session, let me just give a little background as to what the Bookney Author Showcase is. So the Bookney Author Showcase is an initiative by Bookney to support indie authors, also known as independently published authors or self-published authors. So these are authors in Africa doing great things in the literary space, in fiction, non-fiction, children's books, and other genres that we have. So the first Bookney Author Showcase, we showcased an author of a Christian fiction book. And today we are interviewing Precious Osikha. She has a series. 2 books are in the series. This is book 1 and this is book 2. But we are going to be talking about book 1 today, book 1 of the Wellsprings series. This is inverted. So the title is The Wall and the Flower. Is a historical psychological thriller, right? Yes. So I've read
Romance thriller.
a psychological romance thriller. I read the book when it first came out as an ebook in 2020. And trust me, this book really shook the internet and it shook Bookney's app then. And she also released the second book, which I also read as ebook. And I'm so happy to have my copies here with me physically. So now let's get straight into the interview. I'm going to be looking at my phone here because that's where the interview questions are. And yes, like I said, Precious Osikha, she's a writer, ghostwriter. Let me just leave her to introduce herself. So Precious, can we know you and meet you?
All right, thank you very much. As I already know, I'm Precious Osikha. I'm a lawyer and I'm also a ghostwriter. I run a publishing firm or brand where we write, we edit, and publish books for people. And I also teach children and, of course, adults how to write, how to get paid. And yes, I'm a bundle of talent. I have other talents like making book thrillers and so many other things. Yes.
All right.
That's it for now.
So Precious did not add that she's also the co-founder of Bookney. I don't think my shirt is even showing enough because I'm actually wearing my Bookney t-shirt today. So Precious and I started Bookney back in 2020, and Bookney has been thriving. We've helped many authors get their books, their dream of authoring a book or publishing a book to reality through our book cover designs and art illustration, which we'll be going into in a few minutes. So now that Precious has introduced herself, our next question for Precious is going to be, what inspired you to write The Wall and the Flower, and including The Wall, the Flower, and the Petal? Because there are 2 books, but our main focus for today is this one, and it's the Wellspring series, book 1. Book 3 is actually coming out very, 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 very soon. And I cannot wait for that book to come out. But for now, let's talk about the inspiration behind this book and any other book in the series.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Actually, it was something that was written way back in 2010. It was not really going to be a series. It was just a stage play, movie play sort of thing. And at that time, I think it was more of divine. I just wanted to do something. I was still in school way back. However, in 2020, during the pandemic, what do I do? What do I release as a novel? And then, of course, this whole thing was like, okay, let me bring back that movie script or stage play script and then do a novel. So if it's going to be the inspiration behind the entire storyline, I would just say it was divine way back. I was still quite young. But if it's now going to, okay, what now inspired me to make it into a full series? I will also say it's divine, mostly divine. Then uh, it just happened. It's not something I can say, okay, explain to say this is the exact reason. So it's mostly divine. I'll just leave it as that.
All right. So these 2 books actually have lots of twists and turns. In fact, if you are someone who likes to think very well when they read a book, like you like to exercise your brain and at the same time get entertained, then you need to get The Wall and the Flower, and also The Wall, the Flower, and the Petal, which is book 2 in that series. Now, the tropes in this book is slave meets royalty. It's not the Pardon me, but it's not the Asaba Wood type of slave meets royalty. This is actually very different. A slave with a vengeance mindset or vengeance motive, and she meets royalty, the person behind her pain, behind her wound. And then we have royal drama. If you've watched all these ancient Korean movies, lots of twists and turns, that is exactly how this book is. And then we also have love triangle. We have forbidden love, because in the slaves and royalties are not meant to be together. So it's a whole lot. It's a very, very interesting book, and you should get a copy. Yeah, there's also assassination plot. I mean, what's a royal story without assassination plot, without conspiracy? Right. So now that we've known what inspired Precious, we would also like to know, who is this book for? Who did you have in mind when you wrote this book? And then what's the next question? What is the book about? So just give us a short summary of what your book is about and who you had in mind when you were writing this historical romance thriller.
Okay, the book is actually for people who love historical works. So it's not contemporary times. And then for those who like the world that are not, it's you don't find it in reality. You know, there's this kind of fantasy world we call it, but the fantasy is not, it's not like it's fantasy in a way that it's an alternate world. So those kind of people like, okay, I want to still see everything is just from imagination. This book is for them. There are those people who like historical K dramas, because I'm a big fan of historical K dramas. This kind of book is for them because it's different. It's people who already said it's giving them so many vibes, Mollywood vibes, K drama vibes, Greek vibes, and so many vibes. So for those people who like those kind of ancient kind of works, they who love thrillers, like they love high stakes. They want to think. They like it complex, extremely complex. This book is for them. The Wellsprings series as a whole, it's more of about the life of someone who is living. Okay, all right. I would say she turned in, not like she was actually born a slave, and then the journey so far, and then how she fell in love, and of course the revenge plan and rebellion, fighting for freedom. So it's a very large stuff because we about love here, loving your enemy. We are also talking about someone who is trying to fight for freedom. Even in our contemporary time, we are still trying to fight for freedom. We're still trying to stand for ourselves. We don't want oppression in different ways. Then also the political terrain, because some readers who read it also said it's also picturing and mirroring what we are facing now in society, the way politics are being played. So yes, it's the whole book. While it's seeming like it's somebody becoming a slave, falling in love and all, no, it goes more than that. The book is bringing out the things that happen in the political world, how people can go far because of power, and of how love can conquer it all. The truth is, if it is love, yes, it can conquer it. So just like what the Ten Commandments, love is the greatest of it all. Yeah.
All right. So this brings me to my next question, which is actually a very interesting question. And the question is, what inspired you to choose this exact cover? And I think I'm going to add the second one. What inspired you to choose both covers? I know the answer to this one because I've read this book. So those who have read this book, they already know the answer. But for this one, I honestly cannot I cannot remember what I read. And it's surprising how I can still remember much of this than much of this one. But I know that you're the kind of writer who draws inspiration for her covers right from the book. So I would like to know what inspired you to choose both cover designs, and also are there other books apart from these two that Bookney has designed for you? Because one of the reasons we do the Bookney Author Showcase is to showcase authors who have worked with Bookney. So it's our way of giving back to those authors who have patronized us. We're trying to help them push out their brand, push out their books. So yes, Bookney designed both of these covers, and I would like to know what inspired you to choose these two cover designs, and if there are other books Bookney has designed for you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, for one, well, in whole, I wanted something that is relating to the book. I pick scenes. I wanted to be different. I didn't want the usual kind of art stuff. So I love picking scenes so that the cover itself can tell its own story. So people will be like, why is this like this? And then so for the book one, I looked at all the scenes and I could only think about a man trying to pluck apple because I know that most stuff will always seem like a woman is the one plucking it. Garden of Eden.
Yes.
Yes. So most times it look like the woman, she's the one giving apple to a man. But I knew that no, this particular scene in the book is going to stand out as a man now plucking it. Although it's different from the way I'm explaining it, but I'm just trying to explain the whole idea that came to head at first. Therefore, the book two, which is the word, the flower, and the petal. Yes, I wanted to picture a scenario where their daughter, she's appearing because all through the book there was really no intimate place where their daughter is appearing. So I wanted to create something like that. So that particular picture is also in book two, is at the end part of the book. So it was when their time and the daughter was at the other end also, watching. And then there was, if you look at it, there's something like
Shadow. A shadow.
yes. So that, yes, is the villain. And the person was somehow hidden. So I wanted to bring suspense and like, what's going on here? Why? So I wanted to showcase love, romance, suspense, that book too. And then yes, the same, it's a same. Then coming to other works, yes, Bookney has done other works for me. White Whispers was done by Bookney. I don't know, but those who have read it would see it. It actually has an image of a woman in native attire, and the hands are trying to grab her. Also, they did my children's book, Dodo Island, and other stories about a girl carrying a tray of plantain, as well as.
All right. So what was your experience like working with Bookney overall? Aside that it's your brand,
Okay,
what has it been like?
yeah, exactly. People always feel like, oh, it's your brand, so you should always have it easy. It just is my my artworks are usually quite complex, and honestly, working with Bookney has been amazing. The fact that, oh, as an author, the brand is able to listen to me as an author, not as a co-founder. And is where people always get it mixed. They feel, oh, because I'm a no, 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 no. This has nothing to do with co-founder. I'm talking. I love the fact that Bookney itself is able to listen. Bookney doesn't just push me off or make me feel like, oh, no, she has come with her. Really. I like that. I like that fact. And I also like the fact that Bookney doesn't make it seem like, no. I like the fact that we have to sit, look at it. Can this thing work? What thing is it going to portray? Then another thing I really love is the fact that I can always just put my trust, like, okay, aside the fact that this I'm a part of the brand, is the fact that do my work well. Let me explain it. For some people, they feel because something is yours, they feel like, let me pay attention to clients and leave the one is my own. I will always no. I like the fact that the same way clients are treated, the same way attention is given, is the same way attention is also given to mine. And if I don't like something, it's always like, oh, no problem, we will look at it again. So I really love the fact that over familiarity is not it's not disturbing. Yes, the work. I just love the professionalism all through. This is business. This is not with brands. This is as an author. Yes, I love that. I really
And I,
appreciate it.
And I can also actually relate to that because Bookney is currently working on a cover for me, and I'm actually not being treated as a co-founder. The same process other clients have to go through is exactly the same process I have to go through. So our last question for today, because our time is fast spent and we have just a few minutes here, how do we reach you, Precious? I know if you buy her book, The Wall and the Flower, or The Wall, the Flower, and the Petal, any of the two, you're going to get this amazing bookmark with Precious's other books. She forgot to add Love and Other Colors, which is also a book that is a work in progress, right? And her details are here. You can always find her details. But I'd just like her to give us in 1 or 2 minutes how we can reach her to get her books. If you are really interested in getting her books, how do we reach you, Precious?
Okay, on social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, just type the name Precious Osikha or just say at Precious Pen, either of them. Then I can also be reached via email at Precious Osikha Books. I have Precious Osikha, that is different. For anything relating to author stuff, is Precious Osikha Books at gmail.com. So those means very free to reach out.
All right. So Precious, it was really nice having you here. You want to get this book, and if you are someone who does not like to be left at cliffhangers, I would just advise you now, get both books at the same time, because if you buy only book one and you read it, you will be very angry if you don't have book two. So to save cost of shipping, cost of delivery or whatever, just order the two at the same time. All right. And if you want to know when book three will be coming out, because trust me, after reading book two, you might still get angry that book three is not ready. But I think it's a very brilliant way of getting readers engaged, because there are people who are already waiting for book three, and some are already like anticipating it so much, and knowing that there is a book four also coming, which is the final one, is just the icing on the cake. So it's a way to really keep readers on your toes. So please reach out to Precious immediately. Like she said, just type on any social media platform Precious Osikha or Precious underscore pen, right? Precious underscore pen.
Yes.
And then you'll be able to
Yes.
her or email her at preciousosika at gmail.com. So my name is Esther Odafe Ohaka. I'm the co-founder of Bookney, and it was such an amazing time with Precious here. I don't think we've spent up to 30 minutes here, but it feels like we've had an hour conversation, and it's been really, really interesting. If you want to know more about Precious Osikha and how she writes her books, follow her on social media platforms, because she's always giving teasers every single time. There are lots of teasers already for book three, and you don't want to miss it. So thank you guys for watching our Bookney August Bookney Bookney Author Showcase for the month of October. We are expecting another brilliant author for the month of November. Stay tuned. If you've not liked this video, please like this video, share with your friends. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is free. Nobody will know you are subscribed. It is anonymous. We will not even know. So don't shy away from subscribing. It's a way to support us as we also support other authors. So click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and we'll see you in our next author showcase. Bye.
Thank you.